Yo, so you've probably heard about phase aligning your kick and your sub before. The basic idea is you kind of want to make sure that at the end of your kick, it lines up with the sub in terms of timing, so that basically when the kick has a positive value, the sub has a positive value. So when they add up together, they kind of go into each other nicely, um, and don't phase cancel. So for example, if we've got the opposite here, you can see we're gonna get phase cancellation, so we're gonna kind of get a dip in volume here. And the way that you would normally do this is that you just kind of maybe take like a tool or something and you just kind of flip the phase depending on whether this is, so for example, this is in phase. If we bounce this now, this is out of phase, so now you would flip this again. And now it would be in phase. This is all nice and cool if you're making 4 on the floor type music. So if it's very simple beat, where basically you've just got this kind of repetition and the kick and the sub hit the same every bar. The problem is that once your sub notes get longer, or you've got more complicated kick patterns, like whatever this nonsense here is that you kind of have to do this for every kick individually if you want to align the phases. So you would just go through here and go, okay, this is in phase, nice. This one, it's fine. This one here, pretty clearly out of phase. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bounce this in place, flip the phase, and you would go through every individual kick here because you kind of can't predict this when you write more complicated music, which is really annoying, and I don't want to do that. So I've kind of created a device to automate that process in the grid. So basically what this does is it checks for every single kick if it's in phase with the sub or not, and then it flips the kick's polarity if it's out of phase. Yeah. There's a couple caveats to this. So first of all, I'm gonna put this for download. You can just use this. I'm gonna do a members video explaining how exactly this works. But the basic idea is you just put this on your kick drum. You get your sub bass in here, and then you just kind of let this run. And I'm gonna kind of show you the difference in terms of sound this makes. So we've got the kick here, we've got the sub here, and we've got both here. And first of all, let's just listen to it without the thing. So you can kind of see that we get these kind of inconsistent dips here. Sometimes where the kick is out of phase with the sub, and sometimes it's in phase, like for example here. And basically, if we turn this on, it's gonna make sure that it's always more or less in phase. It only flips polarity, it doesn't do like fine adjustment, but usually that's enough. So you can see here now, this is basically in phase, so this is a lot more consistent volume-wise, and it sticks together a lot more. Hearing the difference between this is tricky, so you want either headphones with a nice bass extension, or proper big speakers, or even a sub bass. So this kind of becomes more audible the louder you play back, and the kind of bigger your system is. Whereas if you're listening to this on your phone, you're not gonna hear a thing. You're probably not even hearing the sub. It's a waste of your time to do this listening test. But basically, you can do this. And then also this lets you do the opposite. So basically, it just flips everything around, just for fun, I don't know. So now they're all kind of out of phase. And we're just gonna kind of try to listen to the difference to this now. So maybe you can get an idea why you would actually do this phase alignment bullshit. So we just listen to it without it first. Then we're gonna listen to it with it, and then we're gonna listen to the opposite mode, which basically always creates that dip. So, without it. This is not perfect, you can see some little dips here, but overall this just improves it. And then if we listen to the opposite. Especially if you play this with a loud sub, you can kind of hear these little dips that are created now. So this is basically the difference between in and out of phase kick drums and bass. So yeah, you can just slap this on it, and it's gonna take care of it. There's one caveat, which is that this has a lot of latency, because this needs to flip your kick around, and it mainly checks for the end of the kick drum, because it's kind of assuming, okay, the start of this is gonna be sidechained anyways. The end is really what matters when they start to overlap. And but it needs to flip the whole kick round, so it kind of needs to go back in time to flip the whole kick. So right now this has 150 milliseconds of latency, which is a lot. So basically the idea is you put this on the end of your mixing process, and then you just bounce this in place. And then you can take this away, and then the latency is gone, and these are kind of taken care of. And you can see now, okay, this kick and this kick, they're kind of opposites, because that makes them align better with the sub bass here. If you are using really long kicks, you might need to kind of you might need to kind of change some of these numbers around. Something is weird about the viewport here. Yeah, you might need to change some of these numbers around, so I've wrote some little instructions here, because right now, basically you want to make sure that this yellow cube here is all the way around your kick. If your kick is longer than this yellow cube, you will need to change this number, and this number, all to be basically more than 150 milliseconds. I wrote some things here, so you can do that, but for most kicks, this should be fine. Another thing, yeah, so this is mainly designed for like working with kicks and like sine wave like subs, so subs with maybe a third harmonic, bit more stuff like that. I didn't really test this for like more complicated basses, like maybe an electric bass or something. It might work, it might not. I don't know. It probably will work, but it's probably not gonna work as well as for this. So yeah, basically this kind of automates the process of phase alignment, and you can get this on the Gumroad, and I'm gonna do like a members video explaining how exactly this works, so like how I'm checking this and all. Hope you find that useful. I hope that saves you some time, because going through every individual kick and aligning the phase is a fucking pain in the ass, and I don't want to do that. So this is kind of hopefully the fix for that. See ya. Bye. Where can I? Yep. Ah yeah, one warning. If you're gonna subscribe for this, I'm doing Toba right now, so I'm doing like daily songs. So I'm uploading a song on my channel every day. And if you just want tutorials and not songs, maybe subscribe after October, because otherwise I'm gonna be spamming you with my music if you don't want to hear that. You can also listen to my music and subscribe now. That's also allowed, but just a heads up. I'm posting a lot of music right now. Bye.